Hey everybody, welcome to the Growing with Fishes podcast. This week we have a pretty awesome episode. Um, we have Roger with us as always. We have Dave with us.
What's going on, everybody?
We got Fish Ganja Guy.
Good morning, Vietnam.
We got ECSD.
Hi, everybody.
We got
Hello.
Dustin from EndoCanna.
Good to see you guys.
And then we got Old Fart Grows.
Hey, sir.
Alrighty. This week we got a pretty great episode. Dustin's with us to talk to us about concentrates as well as a little bit about his personal experience with endocannabinoid diseases, which is I've heard him speak before, and it was pretty amazing, and I'm excited to have him on the show. Before we get started, I just wanted a quick plug Ouroboros, ouroborosfarms.com. If you're interested, we'll be teaching the next Aquaponic Cannabis class over at Ouroboros on September 23rd and 24th. So if you're interested, you can take it either online or in person. If you're interested in taking it online, go to potentphonics.com. The link is in the description below. So thanks for joining us. If you're interested in learning more about EndoCanna, be sure to go to EndoCanna.com. I actually had a chance to meet Dustin a long time ago, back when I was working a little bit in the aquatics trade at a store in Boulder, and I got to know him there, and he was working in the cannabis industry, and I was working there while doing some other projects in the area, and got to know each other, and he went on to do some pretty awesome stuff. So thanks for joining us.
Yeah, it's good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Welcome to the show.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about EndoCanna and what you guys do?
EndoCanna is EndoCanna is one of the name brands that we make. We work with both Better Concentrates and EndoCanna. Better Concentrates was a company I started back in 2012. That's actually what I was doing when I met you, and Better Concentrates was always like a trim trade kind of thing, where people were sending me their product. I was making it into concentrate, sending it back to them. Once I kind of understood the ramifications for what I was doing, and with concentrate and all the different pesticides and everything like that, I kind of threw it to the world. Said, I need to figure something else out. I can't keep working under these kind of conditions here. So a few days later, I was able to locate some investors. We threw some good money together, went and bought a property, and started what I call the dream, the EndoCanna dream, and that's being able to control the process from soil to oil, being able to take your clones, be able to source your genetics, being able to make sure you have a reliable amount of medicine on hand, and that when you give medicine to somebody that works really well, that you're not having to be held hostage or not able to source that same material over and over again. So that's really what the focus of EndoCanna was to be able to give people clean, consistent medicine on a consistent basis, and try to kind of fill that void that there's just been a real lack of science that has happened in our industry, and it's what we're trying to do is to be able to bring people up to speed on the different cannabinoids, and that there's so much more to this world than THC and CBD and all the different terpenoids and everything that we have access to right now. I'm in Denver, so I've got a lab that I work with that tests for 12 different cannabinoids and about 30 different terpenes. So, we've scratched the surface, and we've been able to do some really cool stuff. But the future is bright right now, because there's just so much happening right now. There's so much information at our fingertips, and if we could ever get to a place where we're accepted for what we're doing here, instead of pushed to the sidelines and thought of as these crazy stoners, we'll really be able to change the world.
Do you have testing equipment to test your THC levels and such?
I work with third-party labs because here in Colorado, even if I did have my own, I'd have to still send it out to these labs. And, you know, I went into the process of, you know, buying my own equipment and doing all this. And I was like, Jesus Christ, once I get $1 million into it, and then I have to pay somebody to run the equipment, and then I got to keep redoing it, that's not my game. I know extractions very well. I'll let the guys that are experts at testing this test all my my product for me. So I've developed really close relationships with a lot of the different labs here in town. I've actually developed a lot of their standards. I did the THCA standard as well as the CBD standard for these guys, because what we're making out of our labs is actually more potent than what the actual scientific labs out there, the Agilent, never mind, I didn't say any words there. The other, let's say the other,
we
you know,
understand.
synthetic labs, the guys that are out there that are making those standards.
Right.
Well, I love how you guys have your
that's
stuff.
What we use.
I love how you guys have your stuff labeled at 250 milligrams, and it is actually 250 milligrams, how you break it down, and it's not like other places that say 500 and half of it being glycol, glycerol, or whatever.
I always thought that was kind of misleading, man. If I'm telling you you're getting 500 milligrams of hash oil, that's really what we try to go for. And if they're what we use, you know, we refuse to use any of the PGs, PEGs, or VGs. They have some not so. I'm afraid of them. I don't know what they're going to do. So we use natural terpenes, and it's minimal as we can. But that's why you'll notice all of our packaging on our battery pens and whatnot will say milligrams as well as a net weight on there, because we account for the terpenes on the back end. We don't want to. I'm just trying not to mislead clients. There's just so much. This industry, if we could pull it out of the basements and out of the back alleys and really legitimize it, it's amazing what this thing can do for people. But the longer we keep trying to play these games and make people, you know, just trick people, the longer it's going to be known as that the industry that it's always been known as. I mean, when you think of alcohol, you're not thinking of the bum laying in the gutter or, you know, the getting blackout drunk. You're thinking about girls in bikinis and having a good time. So I'd really like to be able to change how people think of the marijuana industry, as well as how it's looked upon as a whole.
Absolutely.
If I may interject, I really liked hearing how you were addressing working directly with the labs to help them develop the standards. That's so important. Like one of the things I ran into in the labs down here in Southern California is I would send products in that were in a edible form, and I got results back from the lab in under an hour. God bless them for being awesome in service. However, that meant that they did not follow proper procedures, because once you tie the molecules up in an edible form, you need to leave your sample for at least 4 hours in the solvent, because all the work you did to make it bioavailable makes it a bitch to show up on the testing.
Yeah, actually, I helped them develop a process where you actually you got to take that edible and we'll grind it up with either dry ice or liquid nitrogen to try to break it into a small enough particle. But I remember back, I mean, God, this is 5-6 years ago, when, I mean, my buddy that has the lab, his lab was in his basement. He was using thin layer chromatography and I mean, the guy was genius because he pulled off results. I mean, I was madly impressed with the accuracy of his results, because still to this day, I'm using the same labs, and I can look at a product and know relatively close where it's going to be at, because it's always been across the board. We've worked off the same standards, and that's it's so important, you know. I mean, it's this whole thing. You send it to 3 labs, you're going to get 3 different results. That's real.
And sometimes it depends what you're
everybody's using different stuff, but that's why you find one solid lab and you want to stick with them.
Right on.
My topical product that we make, oh man, they had a hell of a time with the topical product that I make. we have so many essential oils in there. It kept popping hot for all these different cannabinoids. But then, you know, once you break it down and take the base out of there, they were able to get down to it. But it was literally triple the amount of cannabinoids that I actually put in it. And I was like, hey, this is great. If you guys can teach me how to be an alchemist and create cannabinoids out of thin air, that'd be freaking awesome. But
turning lead into gold. Lead into gold. That's awesome. I really respect your, you know, like you're saying, so many people have been in the closet or been in the garage and kind of developing something or not, and bringing it to standards. What I see that's going to do is it's going to help all the artisans. I mean, like you look at how Steve grows, or, you know, stuff Roger's doing out there and stuff. These guys are crazy dedicated. And if they're able to have relationships with good standards like you're talking to with the labs, holy fuck, what's going to be able to happen in development, I just think is going to leapfrog this thing ahead. And it's totally in our interest to bring all this science to bear, because, you know, it's going to raise everybody's game, and man, it's going to get crazy fun.
Well, it's, you know, I was a non-user when I was growing up. I was trying to be a professional paintball player. I was trying to, you know, do college, everything like that. I lived in Wyoming, where I was understanding that this is the devil's lettuce, that this is what's ruining today's society.
Nice.
You know, so when I came over into this world, it was because I got really sick and I had no other option. I mean, doctors had given up on me, given me so many fucking pills to live off of that I was a walking zombie. And when I got over here, I realized there was so much potential and nobody was exploiting it for anything. I mean, legitimately in Colorado in 2011, when you walked into a dispensary and you bought an edible of some sort, the most information you could have ever expected to get was them to say 1/4 ounce of marijuana used to make this edible. And you start going, you know, is it a 1/4 ounce of keef? Is it a 1/4 ounce of shake? Is it a 1/4 ounce of bud? Is it a 1/4 ounce of what? You know, there's got to be something here. I've been on pharmaceutical pills for, you know, the past, at that point in time, it was about 4 or 5 years. And I was like, we got to know what's inside of it. You know, you get a 500 milligram 500 milligram Vicodin pill. Oh my God, there's only 5 milligrams of Oxycontin inside of there. You know, like you got to know it's what's inside that counts, right? So
yeah,
that's what got me.
Can I drive my car after I do 1 dose or 2 doses? You need to know that. Can I play with the grandkids on a half a dose? If I have 2 doses, you know, somebody has to change my diapers, let alone changing the grandkids.
Well, what's a dose? That was always my question. You know?
Yeah.
And everybody's different, but at least if we can have at least some kind of number to go off of, you know, like these tinctures that we make, we try to list all the different cannabinoids, what you're going to get, and then we actually have these glass bottles here that have every 1/4 milliliter to them. So now we can actually get to a reasonably good spot where you're going to be within about 10% of what it's saying. And now I can actually work with my kids to say, you know, go grab the red bottle and take, you know, 1 full dropper full of it, you know, and then that's how I can connect with these people and give them what they need, because so frequently in cannabis use, it's thought of that you got to be smoking, you got to be dabbing, that you got to get high. I mean, I make a tincture that's completely THCA. It has no psychoactivity to it whatsoever because of the anti-inflammation that we get from people. You know, I make a 15-to-1 tincture that has to have THC in it. Love you for the fact that you're hating on the pure CBD, because I don't believe it's real medicine. But having even just
explain why though, like, because a lot of people don't understand that, and it's frustrating.
So it's science. It's the science, right? So look at the way our bodies receive cannabinoids, right? We have what's called an endocannabinoid system that generates all of our own natural endocannabinoids, like anandamide. Anandamide stimulates the CB1 and partially the CB2 receptors, where THC, tetrahydrocannabinol, that comes from cannabis, which is a phytocannabinoid, actually does the exact same thing with our bodies. So what's unique is a cannabinoid goes in and works off these cannabinoid receptors, but CBD doesn't actually stimulate any of the receptors by itself. Now, if you have THC with it to stimulate your 1 and 2, makes them open up and allows the CBD to get into them. But if they're not stimulated, the CBD will simply bounce off of them. Now, there are 10% of people, maybe 15% of people out there that respond to CBD-only medicine. Those same 10 to 15% of people, I believe, if they got just a minute amount of THC into there, would respond so much better because
they'd be off the chart.
Experiment.
Yep.
I think what we're looking at here is the entourage effect of having a whole plant compound.
Correct.
Yes. Yes.
And it's not necessarily that you have to put so much that they actually feel or get stoned. You just need some in there.
Not at all.
For the process to happen.
We're talking 15, 20 times more
basic biology.
THC.
Yeah.
But I've found that ratio to be extremely effective. And, you know, like with my cancer patients, I like using it because I believe that to fight cancer, you should be in a 1-to-1, 2-to-1 ratio, whether or not it's heavy on THC or CBD. It depends on the certain kind of cancer.
And the hormonal balance with the cancer, yeah.
Absolutely, especially like estrogen positive cancers and everything. It makes everything different. But generally speaking, what I'll do with my cancer patients, though, is I'll separate the THC from the CBD, and I'll give them a little bit in the morning of THC and a little bit of THC at night, and then use CBD throughout the day for them because their body has already been stimulated by the THC. So their receptors are willing to receive the CBD, and it's really, really an interesting phenomenon that happens when, you know, you take THC and then you take CBD. The CBD will kind of sober you up, right? But then if you take CBD before you take THC, the THC seems to be even more psychoactive for you. So by separating these out and giving them to your cancer patients, it's been fantastic because that last bit of THC puts them to sleep. I mean, I got people in stage 4 stomach cancer that are sleeping 8 to 10 hours a night, allowing their bodies to repair and actually create apoptosis and kill those fucking cancer cells. My mother-in-law, within 6 months, we could not find cancer in her body. I'm not saying it's cured. Don't use the C word.
No.
But it's complete remission.
Dustin, I have to interject. You have to tell people, too, that specifically with what you're talking about, it doesn't matter whether the THC is psychoactive or not. So you can do the cold extracts. You don't even have to do the decarboxylation to get that THC molecule in the body to open up exactly what you're talking about. So for patients who are concerned about being stoned, they don't have to have any psychoactive THC, but they still need that certain amount to open up.
So THCA will be sufficient to help activate the cannabinoid receptors, is what you're saying.
Well, I'm sure Dustin knows this way more than I do.
The problem is I'm on board with you. I play with the THCA a lot with my patients. I believe Delta-9 THC is a cancer fighter, and it has to be in. I truly believe in using it in the protocol. So what I'll do a lot of times is my patients will have a hard time with the Delta-9 THC in the morning, and then that's what I'll switch them into the THCA. But to go to sleep, to get that deep, really relaxation sleep, to get that apoptosis, I really, really support Delta-9 THC at night. But I love where your head's at as far as the unactivated, because I use the unactivated like you wouldn't believe. But unfortunately, there's not a ton of research showing that how it stimulates the 1 or 2 on it right now. So I believe we're going to see the research for it. But as the research stands right now, that Delta-9 is kind of a crucial point to have in.
Thanks for that. Thank you.
But again,
once the government allows the entire
tomorrow that comes up that says I'm completely wrong, right?
Once the government allows the entire country to chip in with their brains instead of just the legalized states, we might find more research too.
Well,
but
unfortunately,
we can't have labs. We can't have labs.
Stepchilds that, you know, if we would have found this thing in the Amazon 10 years or 5 years ago, we'd be renowned as genius instead of stoners. But It is what it is. We're going to see some really cool stuff come out of Israel. I went to the Harvard conference this year. They had a couple presenters from Israel, and they're way ahead of us right now.
I disagree.
Man.
I disagree. So I was in Jamaica, and I was at one of the big meetings that they had for the meeting for what they were going to do for regulations and stuff like that. It was held at a university in it's held in Kingston. I was there. They had a Israeli company that came there, and he thought he was super hot shit because he had an 18% CBD and then like a 1% THC. And I was like, dude, like there's people in Colorado doing 25, 30% CBD, like 10 whole percent higher or more above what you guys have. Like they were for a minute, but now that the US, we have better genetics. We have better gene pools to work with. We have a wider gene pool. And frankly, I've never seen anything. I've seen a lot of cannabinoid tests, and maybe you've seen something that I haven't, but I've never once seen anyone from anywhere else that beat some of the newer, especially the last 2 years. The United States kind of walked away with it, unless you've seen something that I haven't.
So I can appreciate what you're saying there, in that there's one company that might be spouting his mouth off. The people that I've seen in the research that I've seen out of there, their government supports what they do, so they're freed up tremendously. They don't have the same tax burdens that we do over here and whatnot. So on the face of a genetic, potentially, I know that they're working on a genetic right now that's hemp-based that can grow in the desert in 120 degrees. So, there's some really cool stuff happening. And the other thing that's happening is that they can test for 130 different cannabinoids over there and over 200 different terpenes over there. They have been able to advance themselves so much further than we have because, again, their government supports what they're doing. So I also believe that a lot of their stuff they're keeping under their hat because they're going to come out with the cure for cancer. I think that they're going to be able to do some pretty interesting stuff there because, again, their government supports what they do. So hopefully we can beat them to the punch. But, man, the stuff that I saw from some of these guys was it just wasn't fair because I can't play on the same game. I can't play on the same field because they just, again, they got more support.
I just have to say, I don't think there'll ever be an outright cure for cancer because it comes in so many shapes and forms and chemical makeup. So I believe it'll really,
we'd be doing really well though.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I just wanted to say, let's never say it's 100% because
I agree.
Overboard. But great. That's.
Uh-oh. Did my thing end?
Rogers and Carbonite.
Cool.
So,
Justin, can I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
Where I've kind of come to is I want to hitch my star to the Canadian standards of testing, and I'm pitching in the project that I'm working, the Canadian standards of testing, and that was very interesting what you brought up about their standards over in Israel. Am I not setting my sights high enough, or are you on board with Canadian style testing?
I am unfamiliar with Canadian style testing, so I really honestly couldn't answer your question that well.
Let me share what I know of it is that I worked in another industry that did a lot of nutritional product kinds of stuff. And just in terms of the organic standards and what kind of cooties you can have in your end product from grower side, or what kind of cooties you can have in your product from extractor side, the kind of stuff that we do, man, this is a tough mistress to satisfy, Canada.
Well, and that's the
and I love that about it. And that's why
so many people
hold those standards up.
Well, and then it's a really interesting topic to have because there's so many things that, like you say, can contaminate it. And you have to test for every one of them. Most people have this idea about testing that they stick a sample in a machine, push some buttons, and out the back end pops all these fucking numbers that tells you exactly what's inside of it.
$250,000 of equipment.
I mean, the LCMS that my buddies runs $500,000 just for the one fucking unit. It's outrageous.
Yeah.
Sorry, my Wi-Fi kicked out, guys, in the middle of my. So, I'm back. Just plugged up an Ethernet cable. Can't get by with Wi-Fi.
What was that? You had to kick your wife out?
Oh, don't bring up my wife. It's 1 year anniversary of our demise, of our.
Well, congratulations.
My 1 year anniversary of being separated.
Roger, we love you.
We love you, Robert.
I know. I'm glad I'm such a whiny bitch, aren't I?
We love you. We love you.
Let's get back to what Dustin was saying, though. Sorry about that.
Yeah, but I just want to say sorry. I was talking to Dustin and I got cut off. So. All right, go on, my friend.
Where was I at? Anybody?
On the standards, we were talking about the standards.
Oh yeah. That people think
and what you were bringing up about Israel. What do I need to research to understand the levels that you're talking about that they're testing in Israel?
Good question.
Those are just those are just the different things that they're testing for that I was going at there as far as cannabinoids. So trying to source all the different standards for these different cannabinoids and really researching the chromatographs would be really the best thing to understand, because what I'm getting out of this is that they're not actually finding a ton of these standards on the open market. They're either creating their own or understanding the chromatographs on a much deeper level for that. For you, I think Canada is honestly a really great place to look at for those kind of standards.
Yeah,
if you're looking
their organic stuff is brutal, absolutely brutal.
I actually buy organic hemp seed oil from Canada, and what is it? It's like 7 years that it has to be grown organic before they can even consider it organic.
Well, that's with everything else. You have to kiss an archangel's dick. Yeah, it's
right. Here we have to grow for 4 years organic to be approved organic. So that's can really just it's just a little more stringent, but it takes 4 years here. I'm not sure about California. Steve probably tell us that, but yeah, if I want to be organic, it takes 4 years.
California is however much you're willing to pay for the damn license. Same thing as Colorado.
Right. But you know that and we can't legally use the word organic in our industry.
Well, it depends. That's an interesting question, because California, Oregon, and Colorado, and Washington State have all set up state-level organic certifications for the things. Only I don't know if any of them are implemented, though. Maybe Oregon. I'd have to research that. I'm a little bit ignorant on that, but I know I know California has a whole regulatory structure set up for it that's coming in January.
Yeah, but to use the word organic, it's trademarked by the federal government.
Oh, I know.
And
it's going to throw down into a lawsuit. Actually, on that note, does anyone have more information on this whole possible thing with the medical protections being repealed and this latest budget bill?
I heard a rumor
that I heard from someone today that I'm working with that they protections weren't renewed, or that they renewed it but then it was only for a set period of time or something, and that medical might be actually opened up to federal harassment again. It's just a rumor. I didn't know if anyone could tell me more information on it.
No, there used to be a news show I watched once a week, but
dude, I feel bad about that.
Send
but
your complaints to Roger.
Send your complaints to AP Meds
at Gmail. Here's Marty. There's how we segue every week.
He'll be here for a minute. So Dustin, you were talking about a really cool point earlier about how people don't know about the pesticides and the pesticide concentrations. Do you want to touch on that? A lot of people have no idea about that.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, California, you guys are in for some fun. Oh man,
bring it.
Yep, it's gonna be ridiculous.
Here in Colorado, I think it's maybe a little extreme, but honestly, I support where we're at, but we have a zero tolerance for, I think there's 15 different pesticides that are on the list. And
well, so
Colorado, they're not specific marijuana pesticides. This isn't something that
Steve has a hard on for this stuff.
What's that?
Hey, have you seen Steve's tables of the things that are allowed for marijuana and the things that are allowed for fish? He put a badass table together, mixing all the different pesticides and showing how it's bad for aquaponics and stuff.
Oh, no, like nobody has seen that. You just happen to see that because I'm working with you on projects. That's all.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Oh my God, it's so exciting. Holy fuck. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so I actually kind of, as ridiculous as the Colorado and Oregon models are, I think that it makes it easier for growers because it gives them a list of shit they're allowed to use. And as long as they know, as long as they use it as directed and they use it from that list, that they're okay legally, it gives you some form of recurse liability-wise. Because if that, look at what happened with, what was the one last year? Guardian.
Yeah,
that whole fiasco where that was on the approved list and then it was pulled from the approved list, but those guys
because they found fucking Avid in it.
Yeah.
No wonder it works so fucking good.
Right?
Yeah, and the same thing happened with one of those I won't name any name brands or anything, but the guys that were claiming that, you know, they're 99.99% charged ionized water or some shit, and then they found a bunch of pyrethrum in it. You know, it's just.
Well, I think you should share the name of that company. Personally, we always share names like that.
I don't want to get it wrong. There was like them out there. It was one of the washes of some sort, and there I don't want to, you know.
You don't want to say the wrong one. Yeah.
Yeah. It was one of those ones that's out there, and we always had doubts about it because we get it in and we look at it and we're like, if it's 99.9% water, how come we can see something separating onto the top? We can see some sort of an oil in here, you know? So, and you got to remember, in our industry,
water from Flint, Michigan.
Pesticide testing for
sorry.
years.
Sorry.
So do you want to talk about? Good.
What were you saying?
I was going to say, do you want to talk about how that ends up, why that affects concentrates more than flour?
Well, yeah, I mean, what's the word that you just said? Concentrates. You know, that's we will magnify it 5 to 10 times what you see inside of a flour. You know, and it's a problem that I run into frequently when I'm trying to source trim out there. You know, I tell everybody that I don't care about your clean pesticide results for your flour. I'm going to extract it, and then I'm going to test the extract on the back end, because just because you fell under the limit of quantification for the testing facility on your flour doesn't mean it wasn't in there. We're finding things like Eagle 20. Eagle 20 is actually 10% naphtha. Naphtha is a carcinogenic polar solvent that actually breaks through plant walls and gets into the plant systemically, meaning basically it kind of becomes part of its DNA, if you will. I mean, it lives inside of this plant, and we've been able to find it 8 generations later from these plants. So it's pretty fucking wild. But, you know, like I was trying to say when I first started, is a lot of people think that this is something unique to marijuana. Where do you think we got it from? You went to commercial agriculture, and this is where you find all this shit. Go to any park in America. Go to any golf course in America. They use this shit all over the place, you know? Like, all your fruits and veggies at the facilities, even organic. I mean, shit. I've had organic shit tested and come back with real pesticides on it, you know? So, again, it's not just in the marijuana industry, but the difference is we're giving this to you know, people with compromised immune systems. We're giving this to sick people, and they're smoking it into their lungs. So that's where I you know, really draw the line. That's why we have EndoCanna, to grow everything naturally at our facility under our conditions without using any of those really nasty pesticides and whatnot. But yeah, it was running rampant there for a long time.
Bless you guys for doing so and caring like you do.
Sometimes you feel like you're handcuffing yourself and putting yourself behind the 8 ball because everybody else is getting away with it. But you know what, man? I go to sleep at night and I sleep really fucking good.
Well, we've talked about Legal 20 and Guardian on the show in the past, you know, and it's, you know, so it's kind of perfectly, this show seems to just stream along and it keeps on we keep these subjects, you know, hot, you know, and try to keep people informed. You know, that's why I was giving you a hard time about naming the company. Like, I don't mind saying, yeah, and it's by Scott's makes it or something, you know, I don't mind that at all, but it's to inform the people. But yeah, it is great. Thanks a lot.
You can do a quick Google search and you'll find it fairly easy. Yeah, there's a lot of articles that came out for that one, man.
99% ionized water.
Blow the whistle.
I digress.
So what other kind of findings have you been finding with the concentrate stuff? What about mold seemed to be a big issue in California as well.
You know, I don't do any water-based. Everything's all solvent, and then it's an oil. So we've never had an issue. Colorado has actually made it where if you have mold on your flower, you can actually send it to us to remediate the product now. In my lab, we use all hydrocarbons, you know, butanes and propanes. And then what we use that's a little bit different is our filters. We run 10 micron paper filters in the bottoms of our machines. So, you know, you're not going to extract molds or mildews with propane or butane, but everybody's walked past powdery mildew. You flick a leaf and it goes everywhere, right? So contact with it is going to knock it off. And if you're not using the right filtration in there, you could potentially have an issue. I'm not going to say for sure by any means, because again, it's not going to grow on the oil. It's not.
And the process, the temperatures you're talking about extracting at, they have a mitigating factor on those mold spores anyway. Unlike other extraction methods, it's really a non-issue. It really is.
Yeah, with propane being at -40 Fahrenheit and butane being about 32, you really don't have much of a problem with.
Yeah, it's a done fucking deal at that point. Just on temperature, and then there's other factors about how those solvents interact with the mold shells that break them down even further. The molds do not have a chance in that environment. Yeah.
And you know, I actually helped my testing facility up here develop their protocol for testing molds in BHO products, just so that we can guarantee on the back end.
Right on, dude. Right on. Yeah.
So you're saying that
baby. You're awesome. You're awesome.
So you're saying using your BHO process, you can take cannabis with mold on it, and it comes, and your concentrate comes out okay.
Yes.
Yes.
That is what I'm saying.
A lot of people. I just hate to see what's going to happen in everybody's garage tomorrow after they hear the show.
Oh, there's other methods to clean.
But it's true. Science says it's true. It will start a war, but it really, honest to God, is true.
Yeah, and that's not even the only method. That's not even the only method. There's other methods aside from hydrocarbons to clean that kind of stuff. There's also ways to clean pesticides, although I don't want people to know what those are because it'll just make people abuse the shit out of the pesticides rather than actually growing things properly.
Proactive.
You know, the problem with that is you can find it all the way out and they'd all try it and they fucking blow themselves up, or they you know, it's not good knowledge. If you're smart enough to do the research yourself, it's all available out there. It's chemistry. Like it's not rocket science by any means, but you know, let's just quit growing with this shit. I get a harvest every 2 weeks that I don't use it at all. We don't ever use any kind of spray, any kind of pesticide whatsoever in flower whatsoever. You know, my plant get a quick OMRI listed concentration of a little azadirachtin in veg, and that's really it. We use Axioms, Harpine bee proteins. I'll give those fucking guys all the credit in the world. That is the fucking best product I've ever seen for mitigating molds, mildews, anything like that. I've never seen powdery mildew in my facility once. This shit is awesome.
Hey, that Harpine protein from Axiom, I've heard on the Dude Rose, they talked about that. Could you explain a little bit about how the mechanism of action for that and how it would prevent?
That's not my world. I'm an extractor. I'm not the grower by any means.
Boo this man.
I'm so sorry. I missed the word. What is it I should research?
What was that?
Talking about? I'm sorry. I missed the word. What is it I should research that you were just talking about for helping with the powdery mildew stuff?
The product?
Yes.
Yes.
The Harpine, Harpein, B, like boy, Harpine bee proteins.
Cool. I know nothing. I know nothing.
I've also found that maintaining high silica levels seems to make a big difference for that as well.
Oh yeah, silica you can't.
It's critical. Yeah, it's critical. It's goofy to me that they don't consider it as an essential plant essential element when it plays such a critical role. And they've even proven it now. There was a hemp study that came out earlier this year that proved it specifically aids and maximizing gene expression for genes that specifically have to do with the plant's immune system. So it's not even just about the cell walls and not even just about the other things. It literally makes a difference in how strong the plant's immune system is on a genetic level. And they've proven that.
Silica and H2O2 are two things that should never not be in a grow.
Right.
But again,
that brings up
through a little bit. I can get through a harvest, but yeah, no, growing is far from my expertise.
So we've had good success since you bring up H2O. We've had good success, and we kind of teach it for homeowners to use a H2O hydrogen peroxide bath to wash the buds that have mold in it, and the mold comes off the buds and floats to the top like a film, and you can just sweep it off, and then you get the buds back out and you dry them off, and it seems to work really well.
How does the bud taste after?
It tastes well. You dry the bud, it tastes like bud.
Really? You don't have any of that hydrogen peroxide kind of smell to it?
Not
and what concentration are you doing that at?
You have to air as soon as you get them out. You put them in a very airy place with great ventilation and a lot of fans, and it seems to work. That's
the old Jorge Cervantes way to do that. I think he was the first one to preach that, if memory serves me right.
You are correct, my friend.
I think so too.
Hydrogen peroxide, is it your store bought 3% or is it your grow store bought 33%?
Only grow store.
So you're talking like the shit that if you touch with your fingers, it turns you white?
Yeah, if it's that high.
That's how you bleach hair too. Yeah, that's how you bleach hair.
I mean, you're
not really bleach, but that's how they remove hair pigment from.
But wouldn't you instantly, if you're going to use it at that concentration, wouldn't it instantly oxidize a lot of your? First off,
I think Jorge recommended the regular old household H2O2, and you put like
all you have to do is take that really strong one and follow the directions and 3 to 4 ml, 3 to 4 mLs per gallon of water.
Yeah. Right,
and then it'll give you the proper concentration.
Right, exactly. That's a good point, Fishy.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there you go.
I like that. But he said his original video was like put like a cup or so, which is basically probably a bottle almost, or maybe a little less than a bottle, and into about 8 to 10 gallons of water. Just get a big tub and put it in there and then press it down, just gently, use, I can't remember actually right offhand what it was he used to push the buds down, but it was.
Roger, can I throw something at you, buddy? A lifeline?
Sure.
Whenever you have that feeling where you just touched your hand to your forehead trying to figure it out.
I had an itch.
The place to go.
I had an itch.
Is scholar.google.com. Don't go to Google.com. Google.com.
Google Scholar is awesome.
We'll post anything. But you go to scholar.google.com, and you will find papers. And when you're looking for papers to answer your question, one of the major things you're looking for is who is citing the paper I'm reading. But yeah, we come up with all these chemical questions. Has anybody found a better source to sort this thing out than scholar.google.com?
Oh, well, cool. Good segue.
No.
I'm a big fan. Google Scholar's been a big lifeline for me. I do a lot of research there.
Okay.
A lot of research on PubMed, all that stuff, yeah. But Google Scholar is the easiest one that I've found.
Mm-hmm.
Well, being involved in the certified USD certified growers, program, I've had access to university stuff too. So I don't generally, but I'm blind now, so it kind of sucks because when I used to be able to just go there and start reading these papers, and I could kind of flick through it and find out to where it actually started addressing what I wanted to research.
You can always get the auto reader add-ons that'll read the page for you.
Oh, I've already had to buy one. I had to buy one. I got one on every computer, $39.95.
Cool.
Yeah, I've got a text to voice, but that's nice, especially like for the scholar. So you said scholar.google.com, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll check it out.
That's where I start something. If I'm asking a real question, I don't even go to Google. If it's a real question, I start at scholar.google.com.
Thank you very much. I'm sure our listeners will really like that. And is there any question that brings us to, what about, we have any questions in chat for our guest tonight, Steve?
I'm not sure. I think he has to. I think he only had till pretty soon. So, is anyone else in?
I see.
Let me check chat here. Does anybody in chat have any questions for our guest?
Actually, I just got a question sent over. It's how do you get the pesticide off the bud if you've been spraying late in flower?
Was that?
Yeah, but that's a good one. I like to hear that.
I'm asking for a friend.
I think I answered that one on the forum yesterday. Don't do it in the first place.
Yeah, wrong question.
Yeah, I was like, we never sprayed
but
late in
it's a valid question. It's a valid question.
Flower.
Yeah.
Right.
So is there how much time do you have left?
I got about 4 or 5 minutes, man. It's an hour out here in Denver. I got a daughter to get home to.
Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. Okay.
No, you're fine.
You're cool.
Do you want to?
Please come back.
Yeah.
Why would he be sorry he has a daughter? That's a great thing. Congrats on having a daughter, dude. Don't listen to Steve.
When my friend sent me pictures from Bora Bora the other day, it made me go, whoo, having kids. Wasn't sure I thought that one all the way out.
Do you want to maybe direct people? You've done a lot of work with endocannabinoid disease groups. Do you want to direct people maybe in a way people can help, find out more about that kind of stuff? I know that's something you're very passionate about. Maybe to close on.
The recent group that I've been doing some work with is the VIP group here in Denver. That they have a 501c3 called the AMR, the American Medical Refugees, and the lady Amy Hilterbrand is she's working with over 200 different families that are all suffering, that have moved to Colorado to try to get help for their loved ones, and it's a great organization. We've been trying to help out, trying to donate some medicine, and trying to get hooked up with some of these families so that we can make a difference. But they've been the one that I've been working with a lot. Sensi Magazine, got to give a huge shout out to those guys because they started here in Denver and now they're trying to launch in, they got 12, 13 different cities, and they're trying to normalize marijuana. It's a magazine you can go into a beauty shop, and it's love Snoop, but when he's on the cover of it, most people, unless they're in the industry, aren't going to pick it up, right? So by trying to normalize marijuana and trying to understand the lifestyle and help people, Sensi Magazine's doing some really great stuff there too. So those are two ones that I'd look out for out there. And Amy over at AMR is she's a real sweetheart, and she's doing some great work.
Awesome. That's great.
Dustin, before you take off, I just want to say, I want to thank you for your attitude, the way you think about this whole thing that we're all involved in. All I got for you is respect. I really appreciate some of the things you helped me think about where I want to go do some more research, and really glad to hear what you had to say.
Man, it excites me to know that there's people out there with your kind of enthusiasm too, man. So keep up the good work yourself.
Awesome, buddy.
Awesome. Well, why don't you tell people how to find you guys, or if they want to try and get some EndoCanna products, how they could find them?
You know, just about to have a new launch next week of the website on EndoCanna.com. We have fully interactive maps, help you locate the closest thing to you guys. Right now, it's really just ask at your local dispensary. We're in over 200 of them here in Colorado. So if they don't have the product that you want, we with our ability to have recreational and medical licensing, I can provide products to any dispensary in the state of Colorado. So definitely reach out, and we can get people what they need.
And you're still only 9 hours away.
It's only like a 2-hour
your product, dude, your products are wonderful, though. I have tried them and have been nothing but impressed.
Well, yeah, if you ever make it out this way, give me a shout and we'll have a little stash.
Very cool.
All right, boys. Well,
Thanks
unless you guys got anything else for me, I'm going to get home to my little girl.
Enjoy.
Thanks again, buddy.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, guys. Take care.
Excellent job.
Very cool. That was awesome. It was good to have him on. I know you guys would really enjoy him. He's a pretty awesome guy, and we didn't get a chance to totally get into all the topics we wanted, but that's okay. So, alrighty.
Yeah, I've opened a lot of ideas from that for sure.
Right. What's everybody been up to? What are you been up to, Fish Conjugate?
At the moment, just cleaning the garage. Other than that, getting ready. The wife and I might be moving up to Oregon pretty soon. Get a little closer towards J.R. Token and Be Patient. And
buying Marty's old house.
No, he's in Southern Oregon. We're going to Northern. Sorry. I don't really want to move in next to Marty's old neighbor. That guy sounds like just kind of a dick. But besides that, not too much, man. Just getting by. Harvest coming up soon. How about you guys? What's going on?
Well, I became a fish dealer yesterday. I now am a dealer for a supply company that provides goldfish and koi and a few other species, and
cool.
I'm very happy about it. They deliver in a either like a 200. Let me see, what was it? Well, they got 3 or 4 different boxes, and they just charge wherever you're at. They pretty much ship all over the U.S. and they put them in a certain whatever size box you want. There's a flat shipping charge to your state from where they're at. So I was looking at them, and the shipping charges were like, you know, I haven't totally studied it. I'm just happy. I couldn't wait to be asked, what am I up to? I finally have something to talk about. But I haven't really covered it a lot. It was something that happened between all this and then with the hurricane coming, half of my day or more is being spent thinking about what do I do next. Anyway, it's like, I think expensive shipping somewhere across the country was like $65. It was only like 35 or 25 to me. So if you bought 4 boxes, I think that's what it was. If you bought 1 to 3 boxes, to me it was $35 to ship a crate of fish. And then it was maybe 65 somewhere out west or something. So I said, from what I talked to you folks, that sounded pretty good. And I'm going to chat with Steve when I can. I've been trying to get a hold of him for a couple of days, but he's so busy, you know, and I feel sorry for
my phone's been fucked up too, which is a situation.
He went off grid. He dropped into a white hole.
Yeah.
Well, for that nominal shipping price, are you going to guarantee live delivery?
Yeah, they have a great guarantee. I'm going to go more into that later. I just want to tell you all I got it. Like I said, because of the hurricane and all, I really haven't totally researched it. Because I couldn't even see the price list until I was approved as a dealer.
But wait, there's more.
You know, it was like, well, no, it was like you go there and I found it and I said, wow, that's exactly what I'm looking for. And it said wholesale only. Well, wholesale only meant if you're not a dealer, you're not going to see how much it costs. So I think that, again, I want to talk with Steve, but I thought from what I've been talking to you guys that the prices are very decent, you know, like, well, what off the top of your head, what is, for, I don't know, 100 or 250, 100 goldfish or 250 goldfish? What would you pay per you know, a piece, or for 3 to 4 inch, 2.5 to 3 inch?
I don't know. It's been a while since I've done
so we just need to match some things and see how good I mean, again, I don't know. It looks like it would be real good for all of us. I don't know. I have to do some comparison stuff, but it looked like a really cool company to be part of, and like it apparently they ship and it's next day air too. You pay for next day air. It's shipped a box next day air. That's the other part of it. More to come. That's the punchline. So they box them up. They even have a video later on. I'm not going to release everything now, so everybody else can go be a dealer. But you know, but as far as a home company, yeah, you know, it's like. But again, I don't really care. I didn't really do it I didn't do it to make money. Although that wouldn't break my heart to make a few bucks here and there. But I did it to get fish. You know, to get fish, so I could get fish. So some of the places I talked to are outrageously priced, and like, well, all right, for instance, a koi that was going to cost me $10 to $12 at another place that's local, a koi would like $3.50. So that was the difference in becoming a dealer. Here was that I immediately, by becoming a dealer there, saved $8 on a koi. And they have you know, they had the red fantail and all that, you know, some really cool fish. So
Roger,
I'm excited.
I absolutely have to interrupt you. I have Scott in my family background. If the nickel went rolling by this podcast right now, I'm the only one here who could tell you the date. And I love that you're finding those resources right down to the penny and just like sharing it with everybody. That's so cool.
Yeah, look at that snide little smile. Thank you, though. And thanks for saying I knew it. You know, I was really dedicated earlier. I had my mic off, or I would have said thanks then. You know, when you said Steve and I were really dedicated, and we are. And
hell yeah, you are. I enjoy it.
I think everybody on this panel is dedicated. You know. So anyway. Yeah, well, yeah, thanks for all that. But anyway, so that's just all of my news tonight. I'll give you all more as it goes on, you know, and we'll figure it all out and see if it is really the resource I think it might be for a lot of our friends out there. And especially because since my shipping's a lot lower than everybody else's shipping, I have to assume, or I'm pretty sure without even assuming, that they're on the East Coast. So it's an East Coast. In fact, dummies. I was really thinking of Aquaponic Dummy because he was having trouble getting fish. And this is the kind of deal what he needed, where it didn't cost him a fortune. He could actually get the fish he wanted up in Maine because he can't go anywhere.
There's a couple of good distributors on the East Coast. I mean, you got was it Seacrest, and then you got Heavenly Fish and Fish Inc. I think who else there is from on the East Coast for fish supply.
I might look at that tonight too. That actually might be the next thing I do. I'll go back to the search because I just found this place and I really liked well they had, you know, because I did go through a lot of different fish suppliers and I did not find that they all had goldfish. See, you know, had real expensive koi and they had trout and they had catfish and stuff like that, but they didn't really have goldfish. And you guys were so adamant about start with goldfish, you know.
No, start with koi.
Huh?
Start with koi.
Yeah, so I could kill $3.50 koi instead of a 30-cent goldfish.
They're hardier.
Yeah, don't start with koi. Don't start.
They're hardier.
There you go.
It depends how bad you are at it, I guess.
Hey, you guys don't.
Steve.
I can do freshwater stingrays in the pot system, so.
So you really think? So yeah, but you're messing with me anyway. So.
No, I'm not messing with you. I have plans for that for something.
Oh no, I know about the stingray display and all, but the koi. You've always said start. I know koi are bulletproof, but don't you want to get your system straight before you buy more expensive?
You could
fish?
throw some disposable goldfish in there, but I mean, I don't know. I get you know what it is. I've been keeping fish for so long. To me, it's not hard.
Well, I said that, but Marty kept going. You're gonna kill fish. You're gonna kill fish.
You're gonna kill fish if you're new to it, for sure.
Well,
You
then,
kill fish. Why would you kill
yeah. So you,
keeper?
goldfish.
And I need to get. Can I get crazy here? I would like to send to everybody who's on here. Please get the information to oldsmartgrows@gmail.com. Everybody who's on here, I'd love to send you a keeper colony, and I just would love to see the benefits for your health.
Well, you could touch on that too, if you want, real quick on this. Most people don't know what that is.
Oh, sure. I suffer from crazy depression, and I've been on like all kinds of meds for it. There's another story, and it's for anxiety, depression, or just if you're a human, you have these bacteria in your body that process all your foods, and if you live in America and you eat those foods that we all eat, it really wreaks absolute fucking havoc on this interdependent bacteria colonies that are supposed to live in your gut. Long story short, I have this stuff I can send you in the mail, and you have to put it in a jar of milk, and I'm happy to share the information with everybody, and I'll even send you the damn thing for free if you just pay to the fucking envelope. But when you start putting it in your body, all the kinds of things that you're thinking about doing in the fish environment, this is the single most important and absolutely God unbelievably cheap thing you can do for your body that will do more stuff for you in one single thing than anything you can do in your aquaponic systems. Did that sound like a challenge?
Sounds a little vague in some ways.
Okay. Here's what I'm saying. You guys know all this crazy stuff about your fish and the living river environment. There's something you can work with that will work within your own living river system in your body with your whole bacterial biosome, just like you're trying to create in the aquaponic environment. And not only that, you can use the exact same bacterias to make a whey product to spray your plants that will kick every living fucking ass on powdery mildew, and spiders don't like it, none either. And it's a simple thing to make out of milk. So I'm talking about stuff that once you have the culture in your possession, and I'm sending it to you for free, once you have that in your possession, you can make all sorts of supplemental things around your garden that your girls are going to love. And even if you don't have a problem in the garden, your body is going to love it even more.
That's pretty cool.
So Roger, everybody on here, I already got Steve hooked on it. He knows what I'm up to. I kind of see him smiling because I know I'm a bit of a keeper evangelist. And here's where it's coming from. I know I sound like I'm in multi-level marketing and I'm pitching an idea. I just want to send this to everybody here because it's going to help your body, and I swear to God it's going to help the fish. And
this is how pyramid schemes start.
I just know it's true. But Steve, if you could pick it up, you could tell him.
First, you sell the first 50 cases, and then once you do that, you get your first check.
No, there's no compensation.
And for each person that starts to sell for you, you make money off their sale too.
Exactly, and then you get 15% of each of the
Welcome to Herbalife.
I'm giving it away. Yeah. I'm giving it away because you guys can do so much more with it than I even understand the questions to ask about it.
So how do we get in touch with you again, Tommy?
Steve has all my contact info.
Oh, you said it a minute ago. To everybody.
And yeah, like through Steve, you can get whatever PO box or wherever the fuck I should send stuff.
Oh, well, let me ask you this.
Just email it to oldfartgrows@gmail.com.
There's a good one.
Okay, there.
Right, that's right.
That's what. Oh, well, let me ask you this. I know David has your number. Can I get it from him?
Oh, of course. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just me.
Yeah, because we talk all the time, so I can just get it from him or Steve, either one. I'll just give you a holler.
Yeah, I get all confused with all the tech stuff. That's where I kind of lose it.
Yeah, but oldfartgrows@gmail.com. That works too.
That's me. I've heard that before.
That's nice.
Alrighty. What else? Anything else going on with you, Fish Gunge guy?
Not really. Just getting close to harvest. I'm going to try doing a dry trim this time through instead of my usual wet trim, see how that goes. And yeah, that's the only thing really happening right now. I'm loving the Spectrum King LEDs that I'm using. Fish are all happy, and plants look good.
Which Spectrum Kings are you using?
Right now, on one of my 3x6 beds, I have an SK400 and a 100-watt closet case. The other one, I have a 400-watt SK and a 140-watt closet case.
Cool.
And everybody's doing good.
If you guys are fans of the show, be sure you go buy yourself from Spectrum King. Let them know that you guys heard about us from here. They occasionally help the show out, and they're pretty awesome. So yeah, definitely let them know. So far, I mean, they said they had I forget how many, it was like 6 or 7 people from the show coming by lights from them. They gave us a big thank you, and
awesome.
no kickbacks or anything. I don't even think there's anything weird. It was just kind of cool. They took the time to appreciate it. Come out and say thank you, and they come back on the show whenever we ask them to. So, they give us a lot of love. So support them for sure if you can. And we've gone over why their lights are better and the points and reasons. So.
And we have a blast when they come on the show too.
Oh yeah, there's so.
And I've been to their production facility, so I can vouch that they are all constructed here in the U.S.
Yep.
They're located over in Southern California.
Yep, both of us have actually.
Yeah, you got a more thorough tour than I did.
We'll fix that. I might actually. Well, anyways, we can talk off air.
All right, guys. Well, I gotta get going. Lights are about to come on in the garden, so I will see you all next week.
Cool.
Take care, buddy.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Oh, I love this man.
Awesome.
Pow! Kabam! Pow!
Alrighty. What about you, EC Grows? We haven't had you on the well, or ECSD. You haven't had you on in a bit.
Not too much. Just been ready to harvest here in about 2 weeks in the little SIPs deep water culture type setup where it's pretty much a SIPs container with the air stones going in. Those are looking good. And I'll be flipping the aquaponic table in same time in 2 weeks. And then after that, the weather up in the northeast will probably be a good time to take my old hydro system and try to get some sort of dual root zone deep water culture thing going because I just had it laying around, so might as well have some fun with it. But other than that, just hanging out. It's my buddy's birthday today. Happy birthday to my buddy Shu. He actually holds some charity auctions over at Instagram. I'll get the channel. I think it was like Big Shoes Jingle Bean auction or something like that with Duke Diamond, who's like from Brothers Grimm, and the people who do like Cinderella 99. And Stray Fox as well. And they do like charity auctions for people with cancer and all that stuff. And they release some stuff you don't really see often, like from Super Sativa Seed Club and some rare stuff. So I just want to say thanks to everyone who's donated and bid on those to help sick people.
Awesome.
Great. Very cool.
What strains are you rocking?
Right now I'll be taking down a couple different ones. One is Pretty Wicked from North Star Genetics. That one is Chem D to Purple Mayhem. Purple Mayhem's from Gooey Breeder. And then I'm also running a couple other Gooey Breeder stuff. And flower right now is Mendo Psycho. And I also have like a Caribbean Screamer one. He does more like old school Hawaiian landrace stuff. And then doing some bud ICs as well. I have a Love Triangle, which is Triangle Kush to Snow Lotus, I believe. And running Canatonic, ACDC, Strawberry Diesel. And then I have some testers going with some stuff that I made with some Top Dog stuff, which was like a Trey Star Dog cross. And then also running some testers for Bodie right now, which was the Skunk VAs to Purple Unicorn F3, but they're only like in seedling stage, so nothing really to report on them, other than they came up all purple seedlings, which was cool. But yeah, other than that, just waiting for harvest and yeah, just hanging out.
Cool. That's awesome.
How about you guys?
What about Hogmaster? What have you been up to?
I harvested several plants. I think I had them done before the last show, and right now I only have 2 plants going. I got an OG Kush that I'm going to be scrogging, and then I have a Amnesia Haze that's going. They're both about 2.5 weeks old, so they're still babies.
Very cool. How long do you normally veg for?
With the nutrients I've been using, it is recommend veg for 4 weeks. I'm using the Flower Power nutrients.
Cool.
That we sell on ilovegrowingmarijuana.com, and I've had really good luck with the stuff, and just using ProMix BX and the Flower Power nutrients and pulling off some very successful grows. My blueberry auto I just finished. I got 4 ounces off of it dry. So
nice.
Yeah.
Not bad at all for an auto. Yeah.
Off an auto?
Yeah, 4 ounces from an auto.
Dude, okay.
Right?
Indoor.
Okay.
I promise you, I've been telling you guys the genetics that we've got are freaking incredible, man. They're really top notch. Every time I always propagate in Rockwool, 100%, and every time they pop in 2 days, less than 2 days. They're popping the little cover I put on them, popping it up.
So what is your preferred method to propagate? That's a cool topic for us to touch on. What's your preferred method of propagation? Because it's been in quite a few episodes since we touched on this.
Me or David?
Any of you.
Well, I just said, like I said, Rockwell.
I don't think Tommy has germinated a seed.
I
know.
What I do is
you can just find me.
propagation at ilovegrowingmarijuana.com and a grow factory too. But all I do is I got great well water that's got great minerals in it, and what I do, and I really think just about anybody could do this, but I'm not against anybody that wants to take precautions as far as pH goes or using whatever water, but I think using water with some kind of mineral in it doesn't hurt. Well, I've got great results, so I'm going to stick with it. But I warm up the water in my sink because it's well water. I soak my Rockwool cubes. I let them get totally saturated. Then I dump all the excess water out, and I take my hand, I hold the Rockwool cube up, and I go like this, kind of splash out all the super wet water, and it's still really wet. I put a seed in it. I take a little tiny piece at the corner of the Rockwool and pull it off. I leave the wrapper on. I just tuck it in the top. I don't cram it in the top. I just cover it up so it's dark. 2 days later, I got with ILGM genetics, with Robert Bergman's genetics, my seeds are popping out. Then they establish a really nice root zone because they're in a 1.5-inch Rockwool cube, and it's inert, it's neutral. So there's an argument. A lot of people try to pH it down or put 5.5 or something to go in between. I don't find personally, but there's argument even on this panel, I'm sure. But I don't find personally that if you're around neutral or so, I think you can propagate seeds just fine. You don't need to worry about pH till you start giving them some kind of supplements as a seedling maybe, but not much. I do like a product that I use, but I'm not mentioning them anymore because they're owned by Bayer and Monsanto and all that crap. So but then I just let it go. And generally in the rock pool with my well water, my plants will just explode, and then I just transplant them into a 1 gallon pot or into a hydro system, and that's what's great. And I'm also using Pro Mix for a while. I've already grown for years, but we're getting off of propagation. So how do you start your seeds, Hog?
I do it the old school paper towel method with water. I mean, just right out of the tap, and I usually sprinkle micros on top of them. And I'm having them crack within 24 hours, if not sooner. So I've had them crack as soon as 15 hours, not with the tail root or nothing, but they have already cracked open and have started to do their thing. And I usually have them in whatever I'm putting them in within 24, 36 hours tops.
Yeah.
And I'm just putting them in a paper towel, putting it in a plastic bag, and throwing it in a dark, cool place.
Dark, warm place, don't you mean?
No, I just throw it down in the basement.
Yeah, I do. So I put my stuff. I soak my seeds overnight in water until the tail pops out of the seed cracks, and then I transplant them. I found it, and sometimes, depending if it's something I'm really worried about, or I only have 1 or 2 seeds, what I'll do is I'll soak them overnight for 24 to 48 hours until the seed cracks. Then I'll put it in a warm, moist paper towel in a warm area that's not hot. But on top of T5 lights is a really good one. It keeps them around the mid 80s.
Yep. Because they're nice and flat. There's a nice flat place up there too.
Yeah, you can put your Ziplocs in there. Put them in a Ziploc and a wet paper towel to keep them clean.
Yep.
And then put them on top of there.
The moisture stays in because of the Ziploc.
Nice and warm. Yep. Keeps them nice and warm in the right temperature. Or heat pads. If you got a heat tray, put them in your little clone dome. And then whatever, those are pretty cheap to come by too. So that's interesting. So there's different ways you can do it. So if they're sometimes they'll do a little bit better with a tiny little bit of like 3% peroxide, maybe a drop or two in a like a whiskey glass. In order to help germinate. The other thing you can do is, I know we've talked about it on the show before, but is seed sprout tea. So where you take corn or corn kernels, sprout them, or you can use other plants, but corn's the best. Sprout the corn kernels overnight, soaked in water, or even for 36 hours, soaked in water, in a whiskey glass or a bigger cup, and then pour the water off into your especially older seeds that are more than 4 or 5 years old. You can really resurrect some of these plants, and if you can't do it that way, you can always use tissue culture from some of the interior of the seed. But you always do much better from trying to resurrect the seeds.
Yeah, that's good. I knew a lot of your techniques are explained because of older seeds you deal with a lot of times.
Well, what happens is because of desiccation, as the seed dries out, one of the first things that starts to break down is the germination hormone, and basically the rest of the seed's still intact except for the germination hormone. So by germinating another seed and then taking the hormone-laden water from that germination process and reintroducing that one hormone, you can actually reinvigorate pretty ancient seeds that way.
See, I'll give it 2 thumbs up with a snap for that one.
Yeah, that's good information to know.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm going to send you that landrace tie one of these days, Steve. I got to find it first. But
have you ever read the book? Have you ever read the book Tie Stick?
No, I don't think so.
No, but I smoked some once.
Okay, we're gonna have one of the guys that is one of the main alleged smugglers in that book. He's going to be on the show here before too long.
So we're back on that again. Okay.
Before the end of the year.
What about Uncle Ed?
I'm working on it. I'm just waiting to hear back from his secretary on which day is best. But I have been in touch with them, and that's coming.
I can't wait for that show.
Yeah, you and me both.
That's the stuff that's tied to the stick, right?
Yeah, tie stick. Yeah. Dipped in opium.
Yeah,
stuff they used to bring back by the pallet from. They used to throw it by the pallet and bring it back in C-130s.
Man, I smoked that stuff that was tough that stuff that was tied to a stick.
I smoked some one time before I went to work because I never had smoked it before. I was about 21. My buddy had a friend come in. My roommate had a friend come in that had Thai stick, and I said, "Sure, I'll smoke some." I took 2 or 3 hits. I got in my car, drove down the road about a mile. I sat through 3 red lights before I realized I was sitting there at the damn red light. As soon as the light turned red and I hit the brake, I slowed. And this was in the 70s, man. You know, when I slowed down, late 70s. I slowed down at that red light. I sat through 2 or 3 freaking green lights. Thank God there was no cops or traffic out there on that road that night.
You were like Samuel L. Jackson in Formula 51.
Oh my God! I started to drive over the old Charleston Bridge.
60s is over, man.
Tying those buds up like that, Thai sticks is what got me into bondage.
While he was deployed in
Vietnam. But then, since then, most of what I've found, well, of course, I'm not out west where I'm probably, but I don't find that when somebody says they have Thai stick, it's really Thai stick anymore. It's just tied to a bamboo stick, weed, but you know. I mean, I can make it look like Thai stick.
I've seen something they kind of call Thai stick that was basically moon rocks.
It's crazy.
Or cannagars. Cannagars are basically Thai stick.
Cannagars? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought that's kind of what a moon rock was kind of like Thai stick.
Very similar. Very similar, except the hash is different. But yeah.
So, well, all right. Well, something I wanted to ask, I wanted to bring Tommy up here again. I wanted to bring Hog and Tommy back into a conversation because it's my understanding. Of course, I don't want to. David, why don't you tell them what you've done? Or did Tommy already know this? I don't know if we talked about it last week.
Yeah, we'll talk about it off air.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Then I'm glad I didn't say anything.
Yeah, we gotta remember. Yeah. Some people need.
Well, I didn't. Well, that's why I stopped and asked him to bring it up himself instead of just saying what.
Yeah. I get confused. I got all excited earlier and I dropped a dime on Steve.
Not really.
Not
really. All you did was say like one of my consulting tools exists.
Yeah, and I think we've all maybe heard about it.
It's advertised on my website, and I think I've even talked about it before on the show. And I tell people if they have a specific question on a specific pesticide, I'll answer that. But I'm not about to necessarily turn around and flip the whole, like, 500-page table.
Yeah, I just get so excited about some of the ways you think about some of the things, and like. I spent so long doing so many things so fucking wrong, and then like I'll hear you explain something, I'm like, oh, why the fuck didn't I see that? You know, and I get excited about that, and I don't know what things are on the side of the fence that you don't say or whatever. But yeah, some of the ways you can bounce stuff, I just find fascinating.
You get a much more uncensored version than most other people because of certain reasons, but.
Well, you'll actually been together in the same room.
No, we work together in a couple of different projects.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Sorry, it sounded funny there. Took a big tincture.
No problem. What about you, Roger? What have you been up to?
Well, I just told you I became a dealer for fish, but since on that note, since I did that to start my aquaponic system. We're back to now that I found my goldfish, because I've asked you about this and that and this. So for those out there, can we talk a little bit on like different size, like a couple different size reservoirs that beginners might use, like say starting with a 55-gallon drum, and how many goldfish would they need to start out a system to try to, and should you buy extra in case they die?
Well, see, that's an interesting question. There is no like exact amount. It's entirely based on the number of plants that you're running and the size of your grow. It's a ratio between the size of the grow, the number of plants, and then the number of fish and what species of fish, and if they're more herbivorous than carnivorous. So that's kind of a.
Okay, so I remember now that it has to do with how many fish it'll take to get you to the nitrogen levels you want in the size grow. that you have. So the
Correct.
more fish would mean more nitrogen, so larger grow beds, bigger, more grow beds you could go off of there.
Or you feed them less. Or
you feed them less, right?
Or you stock it less. So
right.
You get a couple of ways to manage it.
Well, but in general, you also, there was a factor was about that when you drew the water out in the ebb and flow, you have to leave enough water in the reservoir for the fish to be in water.
And that's the reason why we generally use reservoirs rather than, we're getting looping back from somebody. That's why we generally use reservoirs in addition to fish tanks. Because the fish tank can stay constant then, and then you just draw from the res.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's right. So your entire, so you might have a 50-gallon drum with a whole bunch of fish in it, but you might have another 300-gallon tank that you take the water and you use all the water to recycle through it, and that's how you control your nitrogen levels. Okay. There you go. Okay. So if you were going to start out with something though, what would be like if you're going to use a 55-gallon tank, then still like, and say you wanted to have 2 4x8 beds, or whatever, 2 by 24 or 2 by 16 beds, 4 of those are 2 4x8 ebb and flow beds. How many fish approximately would you use?
I'm sorry, repeat that.
All right, say you take a 4x8 sheet of plywood and put it on stands and build the sides around it and fill it in with pond liner and make an ebb and flow bed, right? And for your ebb and flow, fill it with hydroton. How many fish would you need to run 2 of those?
You said a 3x3?
4x8.
4x8? So 2 4x8s?
Yes. Yes, that's exactly what I said.
So 2 4x8s. I don't think you're really going to run that off a 55-gallon drum. You could run that off of an IBC tote, no problem.
Okay. So you could probably just run a 4x4 off of a 55-gallon drum?
Yeah, you can do that if you stocked it heavy.
Okay, so see, that'd be too concentrated. So then we have to. So you're going to have a very small grow if only going to use a 55-gallon tank to stock your fish. So I'd be better off using a 300 IBC or 1,000 liter is what it actually is, which is approximately 300 gallons instead. And I have a 500-gallon tank myself too, and not everybody has that available. But the IBC totes are available to everybody. So you told me about because you told me like a 35 koi and maybe 50 in a 300-gallon IBC tote. You said maybe 100, was it 50 catfish for that, and 35 koi
for an IBC? You could do 20 to 40 catfish depending on the size and stock rate, or the size and what species they were, and then how much growth space you had. But you could run that amount with your 2 or 3 trays and you'd be all right, assuming you had decent sized plants in them.
Okay, so you could run your 2 4x8 tables off of that.
Yep, because cannabis feeds so heavy. It's such a heavy feeder, so it really does a good job of pulling nitrogen out of the water. You just got to make sure you're not totally overblasting it.
Well, I have another 500-gallon reservoir that I can put beside it with water, like you said, as a reservoir. So I would actually have 800. I could have 800 gallons. But just have the fish in the IBC tote.
Yep.
And that would that enlarge my ability to make a bigger garden?
You would just put a few more catfish in there and then put more grow space. Yeah.
Well, what about goldfish though? We're getting back to the goldfish because that's where I wanted to go. Was to
I don't know, 45 or 50 goldfish. You can always thin them out. They're easy enough to get rid of. Oh,
really? So you wouldn't even though goldfish, little tiny 2 to 3 inch goldfish?
Well, you're talking 3 or 4, 3 to 5 inch, I guess I would say. The decent sized ones.
Okay.
Are they feeder? I'm talking about feeder fish.
If you keep alive, yeah, but you start with the feeder fish, they grow, right?
You can, and then just thin them out as they get bigger.
Now, is it easier to keep alive a goldfish if it's bigger already when you get it?
The larger fish are definitely more forgiving.
Okay,
For the most
so
part,
maybe
not 100%, but for the most part.
but so a 3x5 would be better than a 2.5 to 3 to buy to start with, and you might not kill as many fish, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. So for all you people, we've been talking about it a lot lately with all my friends. So I think I just ironed all that out for you guys, and now I got to get with Steve privately to talk about all the frickin' meters I need to buy. I already have my iron. I already have my iron meter.
Oh, well, you get your freshwater test kit, you know, and then your iron test kit, and that should give you most things. Silica, I mean, you can get a silica test kit from Hannah. Any of the other weirder ones you can get through Hannah or Lamotte.
Yeah, I've got iron from Hannah. Dummy gifted me an iron.
Yeah,
Hannah.
those are
Hannah.
great.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you did that just because, even for hydroponics, it's like 3 parts per million. It's really kind of hard to dial in. I mean, I figured it out myself back in the day, but it's nice to now have a meter and go, because I know there's iron in my well water too. So I've been really curious. In fact, that's my next thing is to get the water and fill the reservoirs. But I'm going to build a little structure first, I think. So I'm just really getting all set up to where I can make a plan, and hopefully maybe I can help some people get some fish.
Hey, Roger.
Yes. I'm sorry.
I want to say something real quick. I'm mostly interested in the lab kind of stuff, but you have no idea how much I love listening to people who are totally tuned into the growing side of stuff. It really helps me focus my mind on what my role is. Like if I find out something in the lab that I can bring back to the guys that are growing stuff at different stages, saying, hey, if you did this, we would have X, Y, Z in the end product. I just find it really awesome to like listen to you guys talk about how you bring up the highest quality stuff that I get to play with.
Well, you can thank Steve really more than me. I'm just asking him and trying to clarify things for all these beginners and people like myself that, I've got a big system built, hydroponic system, and I do a lot of soil and soilless grows for fun and for teaching too, and for food. But aquaponics has always been interesting to me, and I like the idea of be able to use something, and then you can use the fish. In the long run, if you get everything dialed in, you can use fish to further make money. I'm looking for a word but make money is really what I'm just going to say. So you can make money off of growing koi, because now that they wanted $10 or $12 for koi, and I can get them for $3.50 and grow them into a $10 or $12 koi, or a $40 or $80 koi, as Steve said. When they get to that certain size, you get them colors out of them by giving them the right minerals which is really cool. You can customize your aquaponics system while you're still growing your vegetables or cannabis, and still make your fish pretty. So.
It's funny you're talking about that. Steve and I were talking earlier today about a requirement that there's like 12,000 gallons of water sitting there.
No, 100 and
coming around like, dude, that can be money. Why not?
One of the townships we're looking at wants 120,000 gallon water tank requirement for the fire department for any cannabis related business.
You have to build a 120,000 gallon water tank for the fire department in order to have the business?
Right. And as long as the water's sitting there, it's like, okay, how does that water that has to be there for the law turn into an income stream?
Absolutely. Well, not only that, I mean, with fish, you got the fish waste streams, the fish waste, the fish poop. You got all the creatures you can create with that. You got all other kinds of shit you can create with that. I mean, you got the fish. You have, I mean, there's a whole, without getting into super details, there's all kinds of other different revenue streams that you can make. So it's pretty cool.
I'm really just starting an aquaponic system so I can trap 10 million roaches in an aquarium with Vaseline and watch them jump up and down and not get out. That's
that sounds like a personal problem, Roger. I want to be quiet about that.
No, just Steve kills me with them stories. And it's like I said, we could make a horror movie. I swear, if we get the cameras down there and the lighting right, and then roaches are climbing off the walls. Yeah, this is a fun part of the show I always love. But I appreciate you putting up with us, Steve, when we get on this old beginner kick, But I think it's important. It's what your show was about. I think it's important to keep sharing that information whenever we have some dead time, and it helps me, and I'll help promote it. And I think David wanted to say something.
Yeah, and I was sorry to interrupt, but I think you were being very modest there, Roger, because you have taught me so much in the short time we've been together that I can't even believe how much it's helped me out in my growth. So I thank you as well, my friend.
I appreciate it. As everybody pats each other on the backs now.
No, it's also.
I'm glad that I'm glad you feel that way. I'm glad that you've been such a big help to our community and our forum too. And then you were the perfect person to fit in here and help Steve out occasionally. And I'm glad to have you as a friend. So all you guys, I tell you what, I miss this. I tell you what, sometimes I don't always feel like it because I'm wore out or burnt out. But every time I do this show, I feel I just feel tremendous after the show. So it gets me out of I'm really depressed all the time too, Tommy, but I try to put on a good mask, I don't wear little spinny little hats.
Roger, I know I sound like a keeper evangelist, and I am, just to be honest, but it doesn't cost you any money. You get the keeper in your body, start working this thing with the milk. If you have anything related to anxiety, and you have anything related to depression, it may not be 100% cure. It mostly is, but some people have an abnormal imbalance, and they actually need their SSRIs. And I'm not trying to say anything against what medical science can prove.
I've never seen a good conclusion to anyone using SSRIs.
Well, if you've got those things that you could check the list for depression, Keeper is about to become your mistress. And the nice thing is, she's a low maintenance bitch.
Yeah, well, I like the way you said, when you have the culture, you can, in other words, once you have it, you can grow it. You can continue to grow it.
Yeah,
people out there might not understand what you meant when you said once you. I mean, most of us do. Yeah. Once you have the culture, and I'm thinking of horror flicks again. Like you have the culture. The next thing you know, you wake up and the shit's all up your walls and everything.
No, it's a little thing. We'll get it to you in the mail. It's got to have like a piece of ice put in it. You have to be smacking it. But once you get it, you put it in milk. And I got Steve started on it in the hotel in Sacramento, and within a day or so, he's playing with it already, doing some other experiments with it that made it turn blue.
Made it turn blue.
Right on. It's so bitchin'.
Yep. But
yeah, Roger, you're gonna love it. In your body, everything you're trying to do with your plants. I am absolutely not lying. This is the single one thing you can do that will have more impact in your body than any other thing you can do available to you on the planet right now. And to make matters better, there's nothing cheaper you could do other than drink simple water. But water doesn't do for you what these bacteria will do when they get in your body.
Yeah.
And the kicker is, you can use them all over the frickin' farm. Now, you'll have to ask Steve for more details about that. I know it's true. I just don't know anywhere near approaching the kind of stuff he understands about it.
The applications after that. Okay.
Yeah, but the bacteria, the things that are in there, oh, your garden's going to go crazy with them, dude. Promise. Apps, cross my heart, hope to die, promise. At some point you'll say, oh, this was information from, like, on high.
Oh, I can't wait to try it. I do need to get off my butt and get everybody I've met on this show that have, said contact us, and get samples. I've still yet to do that with a couple companies that we do, but I'll definitely, I'll write you in a little while. Just look for my email, which will be, I'm not going to give you the first part, but you've heard it if you paid attention. But you'll get an email from me from ilovegrowingmarijuana.com is where my email is.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just want you to, because I figure you might get a lot of emails, so I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But
I've gotten, it's been years now, and I've gotten over 100 people started on the Kefir, and everybody has become my minion. and it's a joke.
Not only that, your medicated kefir is bomb.
Oh, that's fucking crazy. No,
you should talk to them about that, because I don't even heard you talk about that.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's a kicker. If you take your material, you're going to turn into medibles, stuff you're going to put in your body. I suggest the entire plant, but that's a whole other show. But you take those products and you do the seeping thing that I've talked about before in the very, very simple. Anybody can do this anywhere, and I've not found anything better. You steep it in the coconut oils for that 5-day period and then that 3-day period. You take those oils after they've been emulsified and you blend them in with your fruit that you're going to mix with the Kefir product that you get from owning the colony. It's a milk product that's almost like yogurt. So think of
I figured it.
So you're going to mix the oils that you seep naturally into the coconut oil into the Kefir, and I'll teach you how to suspend that too. Turns out, for no apparent reason other than sheer dumb luck, that there is an acid produced in the Kefir colony, the living Kefir colony, that upregulates bile. And so what that means to you is the molecules that are suspended in the carrier oil of the coconut, which is unbelievably available to your body, are even more available. And the uptake, I mean, it's insanely phenomenal. Like, it's almost like mainlining the THC and the CBDs and the terpenes that you want out of the marijuana plant, yet you're doing it for 25 cents. It's fucking cool. And all you have to have is this little colony of critters that makes this Kefir for you, and you mix your marijuana in with it. You have not, and Steve has had it, and Steve has had everything, okay? If there's anything out there on the planet, Steve has had it. Steve's had the Kefir and the CBD and the Kefir and the THC mixed. It's damn skippy good.
Can't wait to try it.
Yeah, I can't wait to get a colony out to you. I know it's gonna, and my only condition, there are rules. There's a cost for everything. So the cost is, when you see how I am totally not lying, and you go out and you do research and you're like, holy fuck, what have I found? The rule is, you must infect X number of people. You have to get other people started on it because it helps everybody. It's so crazy cheap. You could be living on the streets and do this. Everybody that we love, it's going to help them.
Anybody I can help, I'll be more than happy to.
Right on.
So that's what you're saying is you want us to share all this information once we have it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's share it all over the forum to all these med patients we got.
We have been doing this process with the keeper, documented, human to human, sharing this bacteria colony, documented for 9,000 years. This is better than having sex with someone. Sharing something that will, across the board, do more for their body.
And it's still white and sticky.
And it's still white and sticky.
And it's 25 cents for a glass of fucking milk. Shut up.
I'm looking forward to checking that out. I've been so enlightened this year with all this, and then you joining the show with your coconut oil and now your mysterious species of cultures there. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
You haven't even seen the good shit yet.
No, but I'm working on it.
No, I mean, the stuff that's under R&D right now. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm working on getting my head to get out of here, and I'm kind of waiting on Tennessee to legalize. I don't know how that's going, but I know they were trying to push, and if they push, I got a potentially really great opportunity to actually have a custom woodworking job in Tennessee, and get to rebuild some old cabins and stuff. And if they legalize it, it's close enough to my parents that are still alive that I won't feel like. See, I've been trying to move to Oregon or California for a long time, but I just didn't want to leave my parents because I knew if I get out there, it's going to be really hard to get back. Since I can't drive unless I get out there and make a bunch of money, like I could have probably too. I guess I kind of overlooked that part, but I've been enjoying that. But I'd love to spread this stuff around. Everything that I'm actually looking forward to. I did order some of our CBD oil today, and I've got some other concentrate stuff coming to me, and I'm looking forward to helping my estranged wife Amy. She's got some really bad foot pains, and I want to test that topical stuff out. I'm looking forward to testing all that out.
Hey Roger, tag me. Like how we talk. Not on this thing. And I'm happy to just send a jar of some stuff that I've made under the process that I've talked. I've got gallons of the shit laying around here. So I'd love to send some out, play with it, and you'll absolutely giggle. It really, honest to God, works. Okay,
yeah, because you know what I loved about your process? I got to tell you, it was so enlightening, and the science is behind it for sure. Because who's going to argue with Dorian for one thing? I know.
No, I wouldn't.
but I just had to throw that in and give Dorian a plug there.
Being the dead man, yeah.
But the thing is that when you said it was topical as well, and I'm going, all right, and then, all right, let's just say that allegedly I may know someone that has tried your process. So allegedly it tastes sweet, and it doesn't even taste like coconut when you're done.
No, my stuff tastes like lawn clippings. It's absolutely fucking hideous. And the only reason you use my products is because they stone cold fucking work. Yeah. They are not sexy. They're not convenient. But,
Oh, well, you messed up my joke because
I eat 0 opiates, and I'm missing 7 discs in my spine, and I eat 0 opiates, and it's been like that going on a year.
Yeah, that's like you and David are miracle stories right there, because he's got all that damage in his back, and he's weaned himself off of opiates using concentrates. So
Justin on the show too. Yeah, I love hearing that there's a passion, and I know it from having been really fucked up, that will spur a research hair up your ass that is insatiable.
Well, what I was going to say was that it's funny. Yeah. You got this drug that you can take internally, or it can be used topically, and it doesn't taste bad.
No, like lawn clippings, yeah.
I mean, I guess I never. Well, actually, I chewed on a few blades of grass. I never really minded the taste of grass. I just knew it wasn't good to eat it. You know, who hasn't chewed on a blade of grass around here? I mean,
Roger, when you mix the cannabis oils, and I'll help you, work with the extractions and stuff to get it to where it's most utilized by you. When you mix whatever is your favorite oil with the kefir and you consume it at the same time in the same glass, it's hilarious how much better it works. And it's because you've taken a product that you've made already super bioavailable, and on top of that, just for shits and giggles, you rattle your digestive tract to make it consume it even better. And the hilarious stuff is, this is not rocket science. This is stuff everybody in every forum you can share with, if they're getting the molecules, if they're spending the time, treasure, and talent, learning all the wonderful things that you're sharing on this program with them, how to do things environmentally friendly and everything like that, as long as they've invested that much money, time, treasure, and talent into getting the molecules that you guys teach them how to harvest, what the things I'm sharing will let them get every fucking single molecule they grew. And if
that's what's so cool about it.
That's the best way to go, as far as I can tell.
Well, the whole idea of that sealed jar method too, that is so cool.
If you can smell it, you're paying for it. Right. It's just simple math.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm not one. If it blows up in the air, but I could use it and I'm paying for it, I'd rather keep it in the jar. So yeah.
You already paid for it. It's yours. Why are you watching it drift away? There's no reason. You already paid for it. You cheap bastards. You might as well frickin' keep it. That's my attitude.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So I mean, I don't mind. Yeah, I guess we shouldn't mind. If anybody else want to have anything to add?
It's killer.
It's killer.
It really is. That's
there's a lot of cool new people in chat, so thanks for all the new people watching.
Hell yeah. How many in chat are from ILGM? See if we get any roll call there. Just curious. See if it, we've been trying to promote the show and everything.
I'm still working on my projects that I'm not allowed to talk about yet. We're getting real close. Just doing lots of paperwork and city council meetings across multiple counties and all the fun, happy horse shit that is the paperwork end of getting a business off the ground.
A lot of that's because you really haven't got a location yet, isn't it? You're kind of investigating all of it too.
That's been solved. It's a matter of the puzzle.
So is this the grow up location?
No
That's
comment.
solved or
no comment.
well, no, we all know there's a grow up thing and there's
the only comment is EF, grudge fuck.
Yeah, I've been up for many, many hours. Let me leave it at that.
Well, what time is it? I guess we could, we've had a really good show.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna suggest we should probably wrap the show up a little bit earlier. I know I'm about falling asleep, and I have to get up at 5 a.m. in the morning to go to another meeting. But I'll actually be meeting with, well, I probably shouldn't say on here, but I'll be meeting with some pretty cool people tomorrow. Yeah. Well, I could say this much. I'll be meeting with some pretty freaking powerful people in California tomorrow, and that'll be awesome. And beyond that, I probably shouldn't say anything more. So,
you never want to jinx.
So, anyways, unless anyone else has any questions or anything else, we'll wrap things up. Definitely our thoughts are with those down in the South right now. I know that Harvey got beat up real bad, so I know there's one or two people I think from the DGC, and there's a couple people on True Aquaponics that had their stuff wrecked. If you guys can donate anything, please reach out to those two places. There's a lot of good people that have posted stories and stuff on there. It looks like Florida and the South are about to get hammered. The long-term forecast, I don't know if you guys have looked. It looks like Jose is going to do a loop and come around and smash into South Florida after Irene, according to the current weather models. And there's another hurricane. They're expecting that new wave to turn into Hurricane Lee, which is generally headed on the same path as the last two. So if you're in Florida, I have hope the best for you. Maybe you'll get lucky and this thing will turn out to sea. But it's not looking like it's looking like you're going to get hit with 3 storms in the next month, which sucks.
Well, what it is, the southeast coast is going to get hit with 3 storms this month, because Jose's not going to be there next month. He's going to be there. Well, Jose was supposed to spin off north into the
It's going to do a loop and come back towards Florida.
Oh, you said somebody said it's going to do a loop. Now I got you. Yeah,
they've been saying that for 3 days in a row. They said keep an eye on this because it looks like it's just going to do a loop and come in pretty strong.
And you know why? Because the high pressure system that was holding Irma down, not Irene, but Irma was holding Irma down, was a much stronger high pressure front than they thought. And so that made it, in a way, made it lucky for us. But again, I hate when I'd hate to be a newscaster because they're like, well, what we'd really like to see, but you really don't want to see, the southern Florida get decimated again, but we don't want it to hit us either.
Especially with the idiot that's in office. You got this guy who's fighting over a fucking border wall rather than and then you know what? Props to him yesterday for at least getting that through. The funny thing, but I feel like they snuck some shit through on that, and I'm really worried about it. I feel like they snuck through the WikiLeaks amendment and a couple of other shit that just had no place being in that bill, but it was an easy way to sneak that shit through.
Oh, I don't need that. Sounds like something for a news show.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do a news show next. Well, fuck. Well, we'll try to do one next week. It depends where I'm at.
Hey, Steve, as if there's not enough thing on the plate. We have a lot of people down in these different sections of the country that are getting crazy wet and crazy wind.
Yep.
I'm sure over the next couple of weeks we could figure out some kind of way to send some love down that way.
Oh yeah, we'll figure out a way. We'll try to put something together for the show and see if we can get any, especially if there's any regular guests or friends of the show, we'll definitely try to support them. If you're a fan of the show, definitely feel free to reach out. We'll do what we can to try and, get you what we can ourselves. We don't have a ton of resources, but we'll definitely help you with how we can.
Very cool.
If you got a GoFundMe page or anything, or, if we can help promote people for, healing and rebuilding, we're more than happy to do that.
Absolutely.
Also, be sure to check out. I did want to bring that up real quick because I think I forgot to mention it on the show the other week. Hold on. One of the DGC got hurt real bad, and I wanted to just give him a shout out for his page here. Give me 2 seconds. I meant to pull this up before the show, and I was running behind, and then I had an issue with getting a rental car. I lucked out though; they gave me a free upgrade to a supercharger because they were out of the first 2 cars that I had reserved. So I got a sports car. It was kind of nice.
Cool.
For the price of an economy, you can't beat that.
And you know what? Hey, why don't we see how this hurricane does this weekend before we plan a show at the beginning of the week? Next week, I might be incapacitated.
That's also true.
We'll just, but yeah, that's nice. That's interesting. You said, Trump's actually done 1 or 2 things lately but I don't like the fact that if they included anything to have to do with any kind of WikiLeaks thing, that sounds shady as shit. And
they declared it a non-state foreign actor or some shit like that, basically trying to label them as a terrorist organization so they can go
right, because they're a website.
But it's bullshit. It's no, they're just holding you fucking accountable for the illegal bullshit you're doing. Don't get me started on that. I'm passionate as fuck on that show.
I know. Me, you, and too. So we should really plan that show and talk about it first.
I don't know if that's necessarily the realm for this show.
Yeah, no, we don't want to get into that. It might get dark.
Suddenly.
Happy Stoner Aquaponics Fishing Show.
Yes,
Actually,
some of us
helping people with medical marijuana.
were actually angry.
I had a quick rant. I had a fucking asshole Lyft driver today when I went to go get my car. I was on the phone. I was on hold trying to move money from a bank account over my credit card because you get a cheaper rate when you do that for rental cars. You know, they don't. You know, it's a little bit cheaper almost always because the credit card companies have their own insurance company that backs the thing. I don't know. If you rent cars all the time, it just is cheaper. So, they the guy goes, "Oh, who are you on the phone?" Or I was like, "Sorry, I'm on hold." And he goes, "Oh, what are you on the hold for?" I was like, on he said like unemployment or welfare or some shit, and I was just like, "Excuse me, like what the fuck is wrong with you, asshole?" And then the guy proceeded to go on like nothing but like pro cop rants defending like some of the recent more violent incidents, and it was just like, dude, like, what are you doing bringing this shit up? You know what I mean? It was just crazy. Anyways, it really pissed me off. So I wanted to. This was today, yeah, when I went to get my rental car.
So sorry.
Yeah, dude. I just gave him a 1 star and was like, "Fuck you, buddy." Like, don't fucking insult me. Like, this is the first thing you tell me in the car, dickhead. Anyways, personal rant. I wanted to give a shout out to help. If you guys can help Mike at Magic Board, I'll put the link in the description. Mike over at Magic Board had a bad accident, and he's hurting real bad. And if you guys can donate, I donated over there. If you guys have any extra money and you're able to donate, please do so. I will put the link in the description. He's a big friend of the DGC, Dude Grows crew, and they've helped a lot of people stay legal and make sure they're doing proper electrical boards. They basically make a little sub panel that's specifically designed for stuff. So please, please support him. He's a big friend of the show and the general cannabis community who puts forth a lot of goodwill and effort. So if you do have the extra money, please support him. Yeah.
That'd be great.
And I will make sure the description is in there. He is just trying to help get his medical bills paid. So
it's a bummer.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, we all have accidents, but some of us aren't able to bounce back quite as easily. So
that's a fact.
Alrighty. Does anyone else have anything you guys want to wrap up? I want to try and get things wrapped up here. And okay, so that's in the description. I just added it at the very end of the description if you guys want to donate to Mike. Yeah, why don't you tell people how to find you, Tommy?
I have a basically inactive channel, but it's Old Fart Grows on YouTube. And I just kind of do some gardening stuff. I'm getting into more lab-related stuff. I'm in love with helping people feel better or less if they can. That's kind of all that's about.
Alrighty. What about you, Hogmaster?
You can find me at ilovegrowingmarijuana.com. I'm a mentor mediator on there, and just really enjoy helping anyone we can, whether it be for medical reasons or recreational reasons. We'll help you from start to finish.
Awesome. What about you, Roger?
I also am at ilovegrowingmarijuana.com. We're constantly evolving it and adding new features and all, like the podcast network, and we're very close to opening up the grow store again. And for if you've heard us talk about flower power tonight, if you'd like to check out some flower power, go to ilovegrowing.supplies.com and click on through those links. You'll be able to purchase either starter kits or the big packets. And we also offer great genetics, and you can even get a starter pack where you get the nutrients, the seeds, and the whole thing, everything you got. We also sell a 5% CBD oil you might enjoy. But yeah, click on ilovegrowing supplies.com and come see us for all your grow support. If if you want to get with some people that'll give you some answers today and tomorrow, instead of waiting or getting cussed out. We've got a very friendly group of people, excellent growers, and a lot of good experts that are always willing to help you out from start to finish. And that's our motto. We help you grow successfully from start to finish. And we do. Hogmaster, you know, he'd been growing for a while. We've had a guy that his first grow, he won the Bud of the Month contest. Hogs Masters won the Bud of the Month contest twice with freaking autoflowers. Go figure. But you know, it's up to the members. They vote. They were pretty. They're pretty. They're pretty. I won't say they weren't pretty, but you know, the members voted on it. We have a great contest going, and they love it. It provides all kinds of pictures. We even have taken where our members have gotten so well trained by being part of the community and being friendly and all, and everybody working together, that we've started including grow journals into blog articles. That if you go to the blog, the Robert Berman's blog at ilovegrowingmarijuana.com, you will see like where they've covered the grow journal and gives you a real good idea about all the different strains that we have. You know, because we've got some really great old. I'd say most of our strains you might consider old school, but a lot of it's the original thing that all the other genetics were made out of. The blueberries and the OG Kush and the Super Skunk and, you know, all the Jack Herrera. We got Jack Herrera. We got Cheese. Cheese won the Cannabis Cup in Amsterdam a few years ago. You know, we got some.
Let's touch on why cheese is bullshit, because fuck Big Buddha. We're trying to fucking patent that shit, you fucking fat bastard.
Yeah, it's great because I just ordered some cheese last night. So sorry, but I got.
That guy's a fucking tool. He's a tool in person too.
Well, I'm sorry, but I've always wanted to try it. My friends were in Amsterdam.
No. They didn't even. The thing is, they didn't even develop the strain. The guys that try to patent it, they're not even the ones that developed the strain. They're just some schmuck that got it 2 or 3 generations in and decided he'd be a fucking dickhead and patent it.
Well, I would think. And where is he at?
I forget where he's at.
I would think that our cheese came from some guys, some breeders in Amsterdam after the cup that had.
I know they didn't get it from you. I'm just saying there's a guy.
Yeah, I'm just saying our genetics are from Amsterdam, and they are from the breeders that work together in a network in Amsterdam and Europe, for that matter. Well, I know, and I can't say that. I did a Steve. You know, I can't say. We're expanding our we're expanding our seed bank a little bit, and that's all I can say.
Let me make sure I got that right. Yeah. So
we have ways of making you talk.
Milo Young.
But I get fancy papers.
And his whole bullshit on trying to go after and patent that shit, because that's just bullshit. Like, you're full of shit. You didn't develop the strain. You have no ownership to the genetics. Like, go fuck yourself.
It's like trying to say you made up the devil horns.
Yeah, it's like, no, I know, for real, guys, I invented Durban poison.
But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't get cheese just because this guy's trying.
Oh yeah. No. Just don't buy it from Big Buddha Seeds.
Buy it from ilovegrowingmarijuana.com or ilovegrowing.supplies.com. That's where you buy it.
Yeah, that's my point. I'm saying is that they represent what's wrong with the industry.
Yeah. Our genetics are from Amsterdam, the real shit, and you can tell when you get it. We back it up 100%. Even if you blow up the whole propagation and ruin your seeds on your own because your own lack of experience will replace your seeds. If they don't come, we replace your seeds. If you kill them, we replace your seeds. You know, up to a point. You know, but you can't order seeds from us and then say, oh well, they didn't pop. They didn't germinate. Well, then we'll send you another pack, and you know, because. But the only thing I can say is, if you come,
it's about honoring people's desire for success, and I how you partner with that. I think that's pretty awesome.
We'll have somebody once in a blue moon. They'll come into the forum and say, "This place sucks. I've got my seeds and they didn't germinate." Blah blah blah. And you know what happens? 30 members will come on and say, "Bullshit. We've been buying seeds here for 2 years, and they always they always germinate." And they're so.
They start posting pictures. Oh yeah, my seeds suck.
Yeah, they start posting pictures. Yeah. we don't have to hardly moderate these people, you know. But we try to take care of them, even if they come in and start being real rude. And again, up to a point, you know. At some point, you're not just going to let them continue to trash it when you know they're lying. Because I know for a fact we replace every genetic. If you buy genetics from us, we replace them. If you have a problem. And then we have the Bud of the Month where we give away a 5-pack. If you buy our genetics and then you take pictures of it, you can enter the Bud of the Month, and if you win, you get a free 5-pack of seeds, your choice, not the lowest, cheapest seeds, but your choice of a pack of seeds. So I think that's pretty cool. We've, you know, and we got a lot of that people just love it, man. I got to the point years ago where I was burnt out with the forums and teaching and all because of all the crap, and now I've found a place where I got to run it, and the owners love me because I run it, and we're at 35,000 visits per day.
Let me tell you something, Roger. If I can find my way to, and I would really love to have this happen to me in the future, like if I find the glass slipper and everything like that, that I would have a place that I could do a little bit more growing, knowing what I know now, you know, from when I had to shut down the bat cave. I would love to like flip a coin between you and Steve and like pick some seeds. And you know, I've never actually popped a seed.
Yeah, that's what Steve was saying earlier.
All I've ever done is clones my entire time with this plant, and I love listening to like how you acknowledge the strengths of the genetics and the lines of them. I know that like the few clones that I had, one of them was alive for like 17 years. Like by the time I killed it.
Well, we'll get you started good, and I can see by Steve's look he's tired and wants to get off this show. So,
heck.
Yeah, I'm like falling asleep.
I'm trying to give Steve a break, but we could talk for a minute when we go off air, Tommy, before
Alrighty.
So.
Let's wrap things up. We'll see everybody next week. Be sure to check out Ouroboros Farms. Shout out to Dude Grows Show and all their support they've given us over the years. And those guys over there, be sure to check them out over at dudegrows and realgrowers.com. And yeah, thanks to everyone for coming on the show. Thanks again to Dustin from EndoCanna. Be sure to check him out, EndoCanna.com. And Marty wasn't able to make it. I'll plug his channel real quick. He's AP Meds on YouTube, and he's also AP Meds on Patreon. He just wasn't able to make it. He had the family aggro tonight. So and then my channel is potentponics@gmail. Yeah, if into the swankier end of cannabis things, you might see me tomorrow night, depending on where you're at in the state. So take care. Cheers.
Thanks all.